So just before I got sick, or around the time I got sick, Darian, the bow tie fragrance guy, tagged me in a video, and I believe it was called white t-shirt fragrances or something like that. I tried to find the video and obviously I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it anyway. So I picked out 10 fragrances that I believe are perfect white t-shirt fragrances. Stick around. So for the newcomers, welcome. And if you haven't hit that red subscribe button, go ahead and do so. Make sure also you ring the bell icon, and make sure when it opens up you hit all so you get all notifications from future uploads by me through this channel. Make sure you also like these videos, thumbs up, share these videos, and be active in the comment section. And for those of you who just watch and don't subscribe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure also you like these videos, ring that bell icon, all that usual suspect stuff. It doesn't cost you a dime. I don't know why these people are not subscribing. I understand some people may not like me. They may not like my persona. They may not like how I come off, but it's not costing you anything. It's free of charge, so why not? With that being said, Darian, the bow tie fragrance guy, I believe it was just before I got sick, was maybe when he tagged me in a video, but I actually was sick when he mentioned it to me about the video, and I was just reading the text before I started the video and let him know, hey, I'm like super sick right now, but as soon as I'm over my illness, I'll get on it. And it took me a little while to find everything I needed to find, but I'm doing it now. So thank you. Shout out to both Darian, the bow tie fragrance guy. 10 fragrances I have here that are white t-shirt approved. So let's get to it. Now, these are in no particular order. I just grabbed 10 fragrances and I'm just going to run with it. I'm not going to go into any extensive note breakdowns or anything like that. I'm just going to show you the fragrance. I might try to tell you a little bit about it and then keep it moving. So, y'all know how I am. I don't like to do these run-of-the-mill type videos. So if at any point in time somebody has something that's unique that I feel like I want to be involved in, I'll definitely do those kind of tag videos. But I'm not doing those same old run-of-the-mill videos where we talk about Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Creed Aventus. I'm not talking about those same fragrances over and over and over. I'm not doing that. I know those videos get likes. Those videos get a lot of shares. Those videos get a lot of, thumbs up and all that stuff. People love those type of videos, those mass appealing, crowd pleasing type fragrances. Nothing wrong with that. But it gets to be, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, real redundant when you go to, like, you can pick 10 channels and I guarantee you at least 8 or 9 of them channels are going to have videos, multiple videos just like that. Now, this is not me hating. This is not me trying to be salty, but I'm just saying, let's give these people different content than the same old, same old. It's just like the ocean. We haven't explored nowhere near a quarter of it. And that's the same way with fragrances. Some people only know what we show them, which is the mainstream, most popular, what's popping right now fragrances. It's a lot of people that jump into this game like I did when I first came in. They only thought it was a certain amount of fragrances out there, and that was it. I didn't know anything about niche, indie, or anything. So let's give them something different, and that's what I tried to do here. So at the number 10 spot, and these are not in any specific order of me, how I like these fragrances or anything. I just grabbed 10 fragrances that I know nobody really talks about, if any, and I put them on this list. So at the number 10 spot, a lot of people always when you talk about Paco Rabanne, they talk about the 1 million line. They talk about the Invictus line. There may be some other stuff like the Pure XS and all that stuff. Well, I found this particular fragrance at a rack store, which was Bell's, which may be in some other places, Burke's Outlet. This is Paco Rabanne XS. And I looked up the note breakdown on this, and this falls right into the spring and summer category perfectly, which makes this one, I believe, perfect white t-shirt fragrance. This is fresh. It's clean. It has a nice atomizer. It does have a slight sweetness to it. It kind of almost puts me in the mind frame of something like Prada L'Homme, but with a little bit more sweetness to it. It's not syrupy sweet, but sweet. This is a great fragrance, and I love it, and I need to wear it more often. With me having such a vast collection, sometimes I only get to a fragrance once, maybe twice, and I never look back. So this is one I need to wear coming up sometime soon by the house of Paco Rabanne XS. At the number 9 spot, this fragrance is actually discontinued. I almost sold it once. I mentioned it, and I think somebody messaged me about buying it from me, and I was gonna sell it. I don't know what happened. Maybe either the price or we was trying to trade, and the trade just might not have been what I was looking for, or whatever the case may be. But I think this is discontinued. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. I found this at my local Ulta. It was in a clearance section, and I do know that not all Ultas have the same fragrances. Not all of them have a clearance section, but mine does. This is from the house of Givenchy. This is Givenchy Pie Neo. And as you can tell, since I didn't sell it, I started using it because it just actually sat on my shelf, but I put a nice sized dent in it. Same style bottle as the original Givenchy Pie, but obviously this is gonna be a freshie, spring and summer. Clean, a little bit powdery smelling to my nose, very fresh. I like it. And that's at the number 9 spot, Givenchy Pie Neo. At the number 8 spot, this particular company has another spot on this list. And this is just one of the many lines that they have from the house of Bentley. This is Bentley Momentum Unlimited. Now, the Bentley Momentum Intense is the one that I like. It reminds me of CH Men by Carolina Herrera. But this one, I can't quite pinpoint what this reminds me of. But this is a nice fragrance, and I'm glad I found it. And I think I found this in Atlanta at a Burlington in Atlanta, Georgia. Or Macon. Was it in Macon? I think I was in Macon, Georgia. That's where I was at. And I found this at a Burlington. But this is Bentley Momentum Unlimited. Spring and summer fragrance. I love the bottle. It does snap into place. I don't think that's metal. I think that's plastic. But not a bad atomizer. Sweet, fresh, clean. Look at the juice color. I love this. It almost has a cooling effect when you spray it. Even when you smell it, it smells crisp, kind of very refreshing, invigorating. I like this. So at the number 8 spot, Bentley Momentum Unlimited. At the number 7 spot, this fragrance used to be mentioned a buku amount of times when I first started doing fragrance reviews, and even before I started doing reviews, just watching reviews, and everybody used to talk about this fragrance. I've heard rumblings of reformulation and all that. I did get an older bottle, which it was a tall, big bottle, but it only had like a little bit of juice in it. I just wanted to get my nose on it, and I bought it from somebody online, and I liked it so much that I actually ordered a smaller size bottle of it, and I haven't worn it much, but I do like it. The performance on it is not the best, but from the house of Mugler, this is Mugler Cologne, a blast from the past. And this is just your typical great atomizer. I think that has vetiver. It's very clean, crisp, refreshing. It's bright, exuberant. I love this fragrance, man. I just wished it had a little bit more lasting power, but this is fantastic, especially when it's extremely hot. And I may wear this tomorrow. I might leave this out and wear it tomorrow. But from the house of Mugler Cologne. At the number 6 spot, a fragrance that not many mention. I think this did get a little bit of hate when it came out. Not many people like this fragrance. I actually found this one, I believe, at Marshall's in Jacksonville, Florida. And it is from the house of Gucci. This is Givenchy Cologne Purom. And you can see I did put a little bit of a dent in this one. At first, I didn't like it, just to be honest. It almost is a little bit too powdery smelling to me. But once I wore it, that powderiness, it died down some. This is very clean. It almost reminds me of like a very expensive, very good soap. But it has a freshness to it that I like. Perfect for, I mostly wear this in the spring when it's still a little cool out. I guess the powderiness in it, I don't know if it's iris or what it is, can be a little clawing in the heat, which is why I don't wear this in the extreme heat. Like I said, when it's maybe a summer night when it's cooler, or maybe springtime, maybe even fall when it's not really that cold, but it's cool out still, this will probably suffice. So, Givenchy Cologne Purom. At the number 5 spot, this is the halfway point. I actually picked this up, I believe it was last Saturday when I was going to a family cookout. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, because I remember the original, and I had the original. I'm pretty sure a lot of people did also. I saw this one and I was like, this can't be the same fragrance, but it's the same name. So I picked it up. And this is not what I remember from the original. This has to be, I believe it said a 2020 release. And this is Candies for Men. And I love this bottle, this color scheme on this bottle. It starts out like this dark blue, and the hue changes. It gets clearer down here at the bottom. This is not what you remember the original Candies to be. The original Candies is more of a sweet, still, I think it was still kind of fresh. It didn't perform well, but it smelled pretty good. It gets a lot of hate because people mention it nowadays and people pick it up and they're like, I don't see what the big deal is with this fragrance. But I actually did like the original Candies. This one took me by surprise. When I first sprayed it, I was disappointed. Not bad atomizer. I was like, this is not what I expected. But the more I kept smelling it, the better it got. This is fresh. This is citrusy up top. It does have a, oh, that smells so good, man. I can't believe that nobody is talking about this fragrance. Now, obviously, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but this is still a nice fragrance. The bottle that you get is very nice, and the scent itself isn't bad. I have not worn this yet, but I do want to give it some wearing. It just smells so good, and I can't stop sniffing it. I like this fragrance a lot. So, Candies for Men at the number 5 spot. Check it out, y'all. pretty inexpensive also. I found this at a TJ Maxx. Number 4, I told you all earlier that Bentley had another spot on this list, and this is from a totally different line, but it's still the same car company. This is Bentley for Men Azure. And I actually wore this a couple of days ago. If some of y'all are following me on Instagram or are friends of mine on Facebook, then you know when I posted this, I mentioned it a little bit. This did not perform the best on my skin. I got maybe 3.5 to 4 hours of good longevity out of it, about an hour and a half of very good projection. The pineapple in this smells so good. No, this does not smell like Creed Aventus or any variation of it. Just has pineapple in it. This smelled so good on me on that forklift, riding around. The breeze was blowing. It was still hot, but we had a little bit of a breeze that day. And with those bay doors open, that little bit of breeze was coming in. And as I was coasting by, I could smell myself in the air. This smells so good, man. But I just wish the performance was better on this one. The atomizer is not the best. So fresh. So clean. I almost sound like Outkast for a second there. But this is so fresh. So clean. This is citrusy, vibrant, all that good stuff. And this actually would be pretty doggone good if you stick this in the refrigerator. I know I've said this before, but if you stick this in the refrigerator, give it a little chill and spray yourself with it. Bentley for Men Azure at the number 4 spot. At the number 3 spot, this fragrance I found at a TJ Maxx. And I wasn't a huge fan of Issey Miyake. I used to hear rappers all the time mention Issey Miyake in their raps and stuff like that. And I think Twister was one of the ones that mentioned Issey Miyake in one of his songs back in the day. And I started getting into it. I think the first one I found was that one in the blue bottle. I think it was a blue bottle with a silver cap or whatever it was. I didn't care for that one in particular, but I did own it. I used a portion of it. Then I think I traded it or sold it or whatever. But I didn't know that I was going to be finding more of these Issey Miyake fragrances in my local stores. And I should have kept it. So I am looking to get that one back in the collection. But I ran into this one. And this is probably hands down my favorite Issey Miyake fragrance. This is L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme Eau de Toilette Fresh. And I had a debate with somebody once about the fragrances, and I got another one that's a fresh version, but it's not the same as the Pour Homme. It's different. It's a lot more citrusy than this one, but this is a phenomenal fragrance, man. And I don't know what it is about this fragrance. This thing smells so good, man. And this would be the perfect white t-shirt fragrance. I love this juice. I get great performance out of this. You can tell I like it a lot because I've worn it several times. So if you ever can find this one, the L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme Eau de Toilette Fresh, then definitely get your hands on it. I love this scent and I highly recommend this one. So at the number 3 spot from Issey Miyake. Last 2. So a fragrance that I hardly ever hear anybody mention. A few people mention it, trickled in here and there, but I've mentioned this a couple of times. I saw this at my local TJ Maxx. I think it was like a couple of Christmases ago when I first started doing reviews, and the price tag on it was a little steep, but it was in the clearance section. And I kept saying, I'm going to let it sit and hopefully nobody buys it. And it sat there and it sat there. It actually got moved. It scared me. Somebody moved it. I found it and put it back where I can keep my eye on it. And it sat there, and then finally it went down once, and then it sat there for the longest, and it never went down in price again. But I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it anyway. And I'm glad I did, because this is from the house of Bulgari, and I'm kind of not sure about the name of this one. I don't know if it's supposed to be BLV or is it supposed to be blue, but this is Bulgari Purom blue or BLV. And when I got this, I was blown away. There are not many fragrances with this profile. This is ever so clean, so fresh, slightly powdery. This is like the perfect, this is what I would imagine an upscale hotel room to smell like, or the linens or something would smell like this in that room. This, it smells like an expensive soap, even more expensive than one of the other fragrances I talked about that I said smelled kind of like expensive soap. This is the personification of that expensive soap. This is what I envision. Something in that room, whether it's soap or whatever, something in that room is going to make it smell like this, and it's going to smell high class and upscale. I love this fragrance. You can see the levels on it. I like it a lot. I have used it, but I stopped using it because I haven't seen this in the wild after I bought this one. So I don't know if it's discontinued, if you can still find this or not, but definitely if you can find it, get your hands on it from the house of Bulgari. This is blue or BLV Purom. So I know you're wondering what could be number one. If it's not a fragrance like Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Creed Aventus, or any of the YSL fragrances or anything to that nature. A fragrance company or house, it gets a lot of love. I don't see as much or as many posts about anything from this company as of recently. They do have a little bit of a bad rep from what I understand about performance. And I can vouch for this one. It does have performance issues, but I actually found this one at my local TJ Maxx, and for some reason people seem to think that somebody commented in the comment section of one of my videos that you can't find niche fragrances in rack stores. I need to stop going to the stores and strictly looking for stuff like that. I'm not strictly looking for stuff like that, but if I run across it, and you can go back and check out one of my rack store videos from earlier on, and I found this fragrance in the store, I passed on it. It was on the clearance table for $99. I passed on it, but I went back and I got it. And the price tag actually was changed when I got to the register. So I didn't get it for $99. But this is from the house of Joe Malone. And this is Orange Blossom Cologne. And I've only worn this maybe once. Kind of hard. There you go. I've worn this maybe once, and I like the scent. It does piss poor atomizer. Does kind of lean a little feminine, but I know a lot of people these days don't like that, putting genders on fragrances and stuff like that. I came up in an era where if a fragrance smelled feminine, it smelled feminine, and if something was, it smelled masculine, it was masculine, and that's the way it went. But this does lean a little bit feminine to me. I do like it. I will wear it. I wish the atomizer was a little better. This does smell good. You do get that orange blossom. It's not really the orange. It's more of like an orange blossom, like a flower type smell, a floral type smell. I do like it though. Performance on this is not the greatest. I might have gotten, I don't want to quote you anything wrong, but I might have gotten maybe 4 hours, if that, out of this. It might have been a little less. I'll have to wear this again to see. This is one I cannot wear to work and overspray because I know somebody will complain about it. But for the most part, I do like this fragrance. It is very nice. Not going to be for everybody, but hey, there's something out there for somebody. So At the #1 spot, Jo Malone London Orange Blossom Cologne, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any familiarity, if you have any familiarity with any of these fragrances, then definitely let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions about any of these fragrances, feel free to ask. I'm not the best when it comes to putting things in the description down below. I'm learning as I'm going. But you can also look all of these fragrances up on Fragrantica, or you can Google them. You can look on any of the websites like Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, or whatever, what have you, and find note breakdowns, however you choose to do so. And that's all I have for you. So I am out of here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Here is to smelling great. Peace.